Hi guys, welcome back to A Messy Painter. I'm going to do another video for ongoing projects. You've seen this one before with my butterfly, but it's a little different because I've added this stone right here, and it's a Moolite Lazurite stone, and it was supposed to be a moon, but when I got it and I saw the color matched all of this, that's where I put it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to do a little bit more glazing on the blue, like I've done in the past, and I'm going to be a little bit more, I guess, pronounced with these. So I'm just using a round brush, but I'm doing a little bit more definition, I guess you could say, to this. Now, and it's really just I just wanted to be a little bit more round, but if you look at a butterfly, you know, it's almost like there's a feathering effect on the way their colors kind of blend. So I just want a little bit more brightness to this and a little bit more definition. So hopefully you can see that. And this will just kind of brighten that color up too, even though, and it's just the straight aqua with a little bit of liquid just to make it flow. And that's why it's brighter than what's already there. And I'm going right over that yellow part because it is just kind of a blending. I do want this. There we go. I like that. So I'm going to make a little bit more here. This is rather fluid. And one of the things I like about nature is that there is a geometry involved, but it's not static, it's not rigid. In many ways it's still pretty fluid. So that's what I'm aiming at here, is just kind of a more fluidity going on, but yet a little bit more continuity. See how that just kind of, my plant's in the way. I've kind of rearranged my office, and I have my camera on a bookshelf, and in order for you to really see what's going on, you have to be pretty close, and so, but I think you see more of the front view. So that's kind of what I was looking for, just like that. But now I'm going to do something different. What I want to do is I want to add a complementary color in here just to make everything kind of pop. And I'm going to use CAD Medium Light. And so I am actually using not a brush. So we're going to see how this works out. It's actually rubber. It's just rubber. It's used in clay, but I just want to see kind of, and with me, I've noticed that because I'm a little off at times, let's see, maybe I need to use the brush, but I just want to do, like, you know, kind of light dots. Just like this. Can you see that? Because I don't really want it really bold. just going to kind of go up. So it's just kind of a suggestion almost. And then up here, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit more. Like that. Now, let's see how this works kind of as a brush, because I kind of want it like this. Again, I'm not really looking for perfection. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I have to move my plant though. And with this rubber brush, I guess you could call it, it puts more paint on, so it gives it more texture. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then on this side, let's see, I think I'm just going to go like 1. Real light. You can hardly see it. But you can see it on the painting, and that's kind of hard for you guys to see it on there. But then I kind of want to go and do one of these as well. It's one of those kind of fake eye things. You know how just like that. I like that. I think what I want to do also is just clean that off a little bit, and I'm going to create a black here, a little bit lighter with my brush that has a little bit of blue on it, and just see if I can do this without kind of make a little bit more indentation here. Just different. Pretty wide for antennae, but you get the point. So I like that. I'll oops, I think I want to do something else. I want to do red down here as well. So I'm just going to just do the dab. I'm just kind of rolling this in my paint. And I'm going between the two yellow strokes that are there. There you go, I like that. So that brings some continuity and a contrast color to the painting. So we'll see how this looks. I'll let it dry and go from there. Now I do want to bring up another painting that I've introduced before. And I've added a stone to this one as well. Now this one got damaged from a puppy. And that puppy, I had just hooked the stone. The stone is a Mookaite pillow palm stone. And you know, the vision I had for this was a sun and a waterfall. That's all I had. But, you know, as I looked at it, you know, who could tell, you know, what that, you know, what it was, because it just looked like a sun with a white streak. So I put the stone on it just because I liked the vibration. It matched the hawk. But what happened was I put a lot of paint around it just to kind of give some texture, because this, you know, comes out pretty far from the canvas. But then I puppy sat and I had it laying flat on the floor, and the puppy likes rocks, and he went right for that rock and smeared the yellow. And so I've had to do some fixing on it. But in the meantime, I decided that I was going to put a cliff here. And really, the hawk is aiming for the cliff. And I'm going to add this rock to it. I don't know if you can see it. It kind of blends in, which is kind of the point. But this is a blue tiger eye raw stone. And, you know, it is pretty big. But it has this blue streak through it. I don't know if you can see it. If you can see it through here. But it has that blue streak. So what I want to do is kind of know where I'm going to put this right now. And hopefully it's not going to be too heavy. And as you can see, I've already kind of laid in what the cliff is going to look like. But I want to be able to mimic some of that blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my round brush again, and I'm just going to use a lot of blue and a little bit of red, just to kind of tone it down a little bit, because I'm using the aquamarine blue. And if you look at the stone, you know, there's some, it's a vertical, so not that I have to mimic that, but for this, you know, cliff face, I might go a little bit with the, well, it's a horizontal, kind of a horizontal look to it, and then do something else further back. So, and again, it's something that, you know, with glazing, it might take a bit to, and it's rocks, so it's not like, it's veins, so it's not like it's going to be, you know, straight lines and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's just to give it some fluidity and continuity kind of in this cliff base. And I have you know, I had put crushed stones in the water, so when I put the brown on, those crushed stones are still there, so it really helped with some texturization going on here. And I'm not going to put as much, you know, kind of, because the sun is kind of beating this, so but I am going to kind of darken one side of it a little bit more. And I'm really just kind of following the darkness that's already there. I'm not, which is, you know, that's beneficial, because, you know, when I roughly painted it in before, you know, I really didn't care, you know, where stuff was at, which is when you're doing rocks and that kind of stuff, that's kind of how you want it to go. Okay, so now I'm kind of making just a muddy mess a little bit, because in the stone again, let's pick this up. I don't know if you can see in here, there's a yellow vein as well right here, but it's not as rusty color as what's on the canvas. So I'm just going to kind of follow what I already put on there. And just make it a variation. I don't want to cover up all of the rust part, because the whole thing will be, tied in more. But this works with, kind of covering up some of my brush strokes that have some of the white coming through, which is fine, having some of the white come through. Now, before I actually stick the rock on, I will probably go ahead and put a protector coat as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lighten it a little bit, and do a little bit of light stuff here and there. Again, and it's because that one, yellow vein that's in there. Just like that. Now, if I take my stone, put it here. Now, I can't put it up against the edge because I need to think about, where it's going to land in the frame. But this works really good because it's about the hawk going to this perch to perch. That's kind of the aim of all of this. So again, this is something that I will step back and look at, and probably come back and work on it some more. Now, I do want to fix some of the sun rays. This was a paw print, so it was all smeared across here yellow. So I went back over it with the darker colors, and I brought the darker colors in throughout, which I actually really liked because it kind of got too hazy in a sense. Over time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try this with a fan brush. So all I'm doing is taking, this is Cad Medium Yellow. I'm only using kind of like half of the brush. It's a pretty big fan. And again, it's kind of hard for me to kind of do things straight the way I'm trying to stay out of your way when I paint, so that you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm just going straight down, and I just kind of want to cover up that fix. Again, it's not. I wanted to use it with and I was probably a little bit more golden. I probably used Cad Medium Deep on this. I don't know how that looks for you guys. Again, I'm just going to have to sit back and look. Also, once I'm finished with this cliff, I will do some spray, you know, because a waterfall has a lot of spray, so I will do some spray before I put the rock on, because the rock is going to be sitting, it's going to appear to be sitting further away from the water than what it is. So I'm cleaning up my brush. I need to redo my thing because it's pretty dirty. Okay, so there is one thing. And that is kind of the beak. It's not sure what I want to do. It's almost too much, you know? Just kind of, it's just kind of out there. Or maybe it's the eye itself, I don't know. So all I'm using is basically I'm using the blue that I used, and just kind of the stuff away from the sun is more in shadow. So I'm just kind of thinking in that terms. Kind of gives it more depth. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that alone for right now and let that dry so I can sit back and observe it for a while. I have another one to work on. Now I haven't thought about how to do this one because I have a lot of stuff. This is a big picture, and this is kind of I took a canvas to remake it and to redo it. And this is going to be for my husband. It is actual, it is an actual train engine because he likes trains, and I've redone, and so you're probably not going to be able to see. Let me turn this a little bit. But because of perspective, and I've never done a train before, I have had an issue with straight lines because I'm usually to the side. So I'm mixing like a gray because what I've realized that this is not straight. Now the fortunate thing is that it should be getting wider as it kind of is closer. So that helps. And it's handy to have some good tools. So all I want to do is kind of block this in a little bit more, and because it's so that makes that a little bit more straight. And it's okay that it's gotten wider because And I probably need to get white, but it's okay for now. So now I want to kind of go up here and do the same thing. I don't know if you can see, probably not the best. So that helps. So I'm going to just blend this, and then I'll go back over it. And I don't know if you can see the texture that's in there, but you know, this was a huge, it was a painting that I had started and I just wasn't happy with, and it sat here for years. And so so now I want to copy what's down here, only way up here. And I'm actually going to go a little bit kind of broader, because I don't know if you've ever done it in 6th grade art where you had to do the hallway. So as things get closer, they get wider. So it's, even though it's not that, it still has the, and I'm really not, this is probably more of a impressionistic, I guess you could say, because I'm not really interested in, you know, seeing the track. I mean, it's not about the track. It's about the engine. And so I think I like that a whole lot better. But it is about the engine and not so much about the track. And I don't know if you can tell it, but this is just one coat of brown that I've put over white that was already there. And I'm probably not going to do anything else because it looks pretty good. Now I am trying to create a brown, a little bit of a brown. I'm using the primary colors. I'm not doing a good job. So there would be a little bit of a shadow. Going on. And there's great books out there, you know, to teach you on, you know, perspective and, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. As I have told you before, that I am self-taught, so, you know, I just kind of learn on my own, and I'm just kind of blurring that line a little bit. But I am more of a realist, and this is, I'm trying not to be a realist in this one, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to be more impressionistic just because the pictures I have of engines are very, they're very muted, they're very small, so it's hard to tell what actually is going on in my examples that I'm following, which doesn't help, you know, all that much. So I basically, you know, walked up with a brush and just put a mark and walked away. And looked at it, walked up, put a mark, and walked away. So that is a new thing for me, to do that. So I'm just kind of, I guess I should clean my brush or use a different one. Because what I want to do here is just kind of, this was one of those marks that I made. And if you think about it, it needs to be blurry because the train's moving. So you're not going to see anything, you know, in detail because the train is supposed to be moving. And so that's kind of the key to all of this, is that the train is moving. So I'm actually making a gray because this doesn't look right. Does that look better? So, and this is all about making something that's cylinder look round. This is, again, it's a flat, but since the train is moving, it's hard to tell, you know, what's there. So it's just about light reflecting as it's moving fast. So I'm going to have to sit back and look at this again, because that's what I do. I'm too close to it, and so I just want to sit back. But the background was the old painting, and this cloud right here was the old painting, and this was the old painting. And so I just kind of kept that and to kind of be more whimsical in a sense of this train coming forth. And I made the white that was already there part of the smoke, as if it's coming out of a tunnel, and the smoke is just hitting that side. And so that's kind of what I'm going at with that whimsical look. But I like it, and I don't know if my husband will like it because it's, you know, basically for him, but I like it. And when I hang it up, I'll take a picture of it and post it on my Facebook page under A Messy Painter. So so that's that one. So I think I will call this one quits for now, because I'm not ready to do another one, because I don't have it. I was going to do another one, but I don't see my painting right here. So I'll call it quits. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.